Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for MovieGuy 2005. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, movie reviews, re-reviews, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And so, The Wolfman from this year is the movie he wanted me to check out. And I know this got a lot of bad reviews. I can see why, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't say this is one of those films I thought was like the worst thing ever. It's just very bland and boring for the most part. It's just very non-essential, if that makes sense. It's a werewolf film that's trying to be kind of minimalistic, that's trying to be thematic about the issues of abuse of father to son, and once that son's grown up, will he continue that set of violent tendencies that the father had, or will he go a different route? I just don't think it was done in the most successful manner. It's trying to do a different take on a Wolfman idea, but I think the acting at times is just kind of bland, especially the wife character. Most of the time, strange shit's going on, and she's just like staring like characters on Xanax. And it's directed by Leigh Whannell. Now, Leigh Whannell, he wrote the first Saw film. He directed Upgrade, which I was not a fan of. I know a lot of people like that film. I was never a fan of that movie. And he did The Invisible Man, which I did like that movie. I thought The Invisible Man, I thought, okay, this is a different take. Where it's the Invisible Man idea, but kind of in the vein of those Sleeping with the Enemy, those type of thriller movies. I was fine with that. I thought there were some interesting sequences involving invisibility effects, especially in the kind of the hospital mental ward bits at the end. And I thought it was pretty good. Hell, I remember when I reviewed it, people were like, some, not all, but some were mad that I liked it. So it's funny. People get mad if I don't like something. Then if I do like something, people get mad at that. So you can't win. Some people were like, you like Fight or Flight? Yes. So you can't win. If I like something, it's wrong. If I hate something, it's wrong. So fuck it. That's why I just give my own damn opinion. Like, as you all should. And this film was a bomb. It cost $25 million. It only made $20 million in the U.S. Worldwide total $34 million. So $34 million worldwide on a $25 million budget. Plus you got marketing added into there. It's a flop. It was a flop. And I could appreciate Leigh Whannell trying to do something different, but it didn't work out. Just for the most part, it was just rather boring. That's really, it's, to me, the big crime. It was just boring for a good chunk of the movie. I mean, the setup is, I like where they shot it. I like, it takes place in Oregon. I don't say Oregon. I just pronounced it weirdly for Oregon. just to be silly, just to be stupid, just to be goofy. Because at the end of the day, it's just a movie review. Just meant to be goofy, meant to be fun. But there's this kid named Blake who's with his dad, Grady. And you get the idea that the kid at times is kind of scared of his dad's temper. Although, I mean, you could kind of look at where, there are times he gets a bit too intense, like he's talking to the kid about, dying ain't hard, dying is easy. I'm like, what, you fucking Rambo? Okay? Live for nothing or die for something. Dude, you ain't Rambo. But there's another bit where the kid runs off, and he gets pissed about that, which I don't blame him. I mean, the kid's run off in the woods by himself. The dad would be pissed, because you gotta be careful. There'll be bears and shit out there. So they're father and son going out hunting. They notice something. They go to one of those deer towers. Bit of a suspense scene where something's out there, but it doesn't quite get in. The kid later on hears his dad talking about there's something out there, and then it cuts to 30 years later. The kid, Blake, has grown up to be a father of his own to this daughter and has a wife. Now, they're supposed to showcase that the dad has a short temper, but honestly, his outbursts, they don't really seem that out of place. They don't really seem that outrageous. Because, okay, he gets upset that his daughter is on this thin slope walking on it. There's cars over here. She could fall and get her head crushed like that damn scene in Toxic Avenger. And he's like, why don't you listen to me? Which is true. He's like, did you get down there? Did you get down there? Did you get down there? Bitch, did you get the fuck down? I mean, he doesn't say that way. But he's like, could you please get down? And he's like, why don't you listen to me? I mean, I can't really blame him. Kid ain't listening. You should be lucky he's not back to the day when they spanked you. Remember that? When parents spanked their kids? Sometimes with a belt. So you think you got bad now. Should have been in, back in the day. And then another time where the wife keeps talking loudly at the kitchen table. Can you take that outside? Can you take that outside? And it didn't, like, they're trying to showcase he's got a short temper, but I just don't think it was done in a way that people could really buy into, well, what you're trying to shovel with the theme. Either you go, oh, it's not that bad. I've seen 10 times worse. Remember, you want to see worse? Watch what the hell was that? The Disneyland fist fight? I forget what it's called. It's like, the guy's like, fuck you want, bitch? And like punches the lady, and then there's like the mom, and like the mom, like by osmosis falls to the ground. And it's like, you hit my mom, bitch! It's like Disneyland fight. You just type on YouTube, you'll find it. Like that, okay. I can see. Here, not so much. So the dad, Blake, he says to the wife and kid, and the daughter does care for her dad. You even get the idea that she cares for her dad more than her mom. Although it's not really established why that's the case. That she doesn't care for her mom as much. I mean, it's never really showcased. I mean, the mom and daughter don't really have a lot of actual scenes to talk, communicate together. But Blake's dad is dead. Goes up there to get his stuff. Gets a bit lost. Sees this guy he knew back in the day. He happens to be there. I'll show you the way. It's nighttime. There's something on the road. They swerve. It's a crash. Vehicle gets screwed up. The one guy gets killed. And the lead guy gets scratched in the arm. He gets his wife and kid out. They run. They get to the dad's house. They barricade it. And then it's pretty much the rest of the night is either them wondering what's outside or the lead guy changing. And it tries to be a bit like David Cronenberg's The Fly, only that film is a lot better because I didn't care for this film. What I mean by the beginning of this review is that do I think this is the worst film ever? Or do I think this is the worst film of the year? Or do I think this is one of the worst werewolf films of all time? No, because werewolf films, there's a lot of bad ones. And hell, you could really say, like, hell, you could say 90% of werewolf films are bad. And I mean, do I think there are worse ones? Sure. Howling 3 through 8. Howling 3, 4, 5, especially Howling 7. I think they're all worse. Dark Wolf, for those who remember that movie, that's way worse. Cursed, I thought was worse. Wes Craven, that was more disappointing to me. Blood and Chocolate, I thought was worse. What was that one? Night Wolf, aka 13 Hours, I reviewed. I thought that was worse. There's a lot of worse werewolf films, but this was, it just, I don't get that involved with the characters. I don't really care about their plight. The lead guy, I was very meh on, so when he's changing, I don't really, like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, I felt sorry for. Heartbreaking. Here, I didn't feel that at all. I'm like, okay. The wife character, there's a bit where he's chewing on his arm, the one that's been wounded, and eating it. And she's just like, this is the wife. I'm like, did you do something? If I actually piss off the toilet because it's like middle of the night, I'm sleepy, and I'm like, oh shit, I get more reaction out of myself than this lady is with her husband chewing his arm off. Imagine if he was able to get down and chew his dick or lick his balls like a dog. But that'd be a different movie. Maybe then she did a reaction out. You did a reaction of her. But she's very blasé at times. She's just very blasé. I don't really know why. I don't really get that. Yeah, once in a while she screams. But there's a lot of moments that seem like she should have more of a reaction than she does. I will say, I don't think the lead guy's acting was that bad. It's just, I don't know if it was if he's maybe just an actor that just can't be compelling as a lead, or if it was the script, or what was the case. The idea, the lady who played the wife, I thought she was very, like, blasé, and I thought it was a miscasting. I don't think she did that good of a job, to be honest. The little girl did fine. When you do see the werewolf, it's more akin to, if you remember that film Wolf with Jack Nicholson, where it's pretty much the people, but they have a little bit of hair on their face. That's what reminded me the most was Wolf. And to be honest, I don't even know if I like that film more or this film more than, well, if I don't even know which I would like more. Well, the one does have James Spader, so that is a plus. But, so I guess I choose that one. But yeah, this, I would choose Wolf over this. But yeah, come on, it's James Spader. It can't be James Spader. But, when there's practical effects and you see the guy changing, I think there's some interesting ideas. He hears his big, like, pounding, and you wonder what the hell that is, and it's this, a big fucking spider. I mean, to me, that spider was scarier than the fucking werewolf in the movie, to be honest. All the lead and the werewolf outside, this spider was scarier, because this big as my fucking hand. If I went over there, if I turn my head and there's a spider this big, I would be petrified. Yeah, that was scarier than anything in the fucking movie. But he hears the spider legs, and while in real time we don't hear it, to him it's like this loud. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Same with the vision. When his vision changes, like if it's dark, sometimes Leigh Whannell will do this camera spin, so we'll see from like the human's perspective, and then when it turns, we see the werewolf's perspective. So if it's nighttime, you can't see anything in front of your face. When it's the werewolf's perspective, he can see everything's bright, and he'll see the wife and daughter, and there's like a light shimmer in their eyes, like a reflection, like a white light reflection. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I haven't seen that done a whole lot often in werewolf films. And I don't think like the camera work is bad. I think where it's shot with the woodlands is that's usually a nice looking location. That forest area. The I didn't really notice much in terms of CGI. The practical effects, like there's little bits where the fingernails fall off and the claws come out, and some bits where you see the fangs. I mean, I don't think it's bad practical effects. I think it's similar to the Jack Nicholson film Wolf. But if you're looking for an actual wolf man, you're not getting in this movie. So, yeah, depends how you feel about that. And then pretty much it's just this slow burn where he's turning. Then they try to get out with this truck. They can't, so they get on top of this greenhouse. Spoilers. The dad becomes a decoy. The mom and daughter going. The daughter gets pissed at the mom, going, "You left daddy! You left daddy outside!" And I'm like, how the fuck did she do that, girl? When the hell did she leave daddy outside? You really hate your mom, don't you? Why? I still don't understand why. I like the idea that a daughter loves her dad, because usually it's a daughter-mom story, so I can appreciate a daughter loving the dad. I don't know, just a bit more refreshing. But yeah, and then pretty much the two werewolves fight. They pretty much like slam each other, go back and forth. One bites the other, vice versa. The werewolf tries for the family. The lead guy steps in front of him to protect his family. Eventually, the lead bites the other werewolf and finds out that the werewolf he killed was his own father. So his own father had been turned. And now the lead is even more changed, even more transformed. So he goes after the family, the wife and kid. They go to, I think, like the barn or whatever. And that's where you get the bit where they see darkness, but he sees them brightly. A little bit of cat mouse chase. Eventually, the wife and daughter get to the same type of deer tower at the beginning of the movie that the kid was at with his dad. The werewolf gets there, and the daughter goes, "He wants this to be over." Just something about she could tell what her dad wants and doesn't want. So that's why he's not attacking them outright. He's just waiting for her to shoot. Now, granted, I was waiting for him like take the gun barrel and do this, but then that really would be a ripoff of The Fly, because he did do that. But that's what the stuff like that made that more effective. And then also with the actors involved, Cronenberg's direction of those, the way Jeff and Gina Davis, they were a couple back then at that time, and I think that really helped their chemistry. So you really bought them in love with each other. So when the shit turns, and also The Fly and the transformations are so memorable and ghastly and gruesome, this movie never reaches that level. Either they'll remind you of a movie that most of us like better, and The Look of the Werewolf, I didn't hate it. But it just, if you're open to that look, if you want more of the actual wolf, like Dog Soldiers, Bad Moon, which both I think are way better, Silver Bullet, then you're not going to get that, and that's going to be disappointing. If it's, again, if I looked at it like Wolf, like I keep repeating, I'm like, okay, it's not my ideal version of a werewolf, but I could deal with it. It just, It's forgettable at the end of the day. It's a fairly forgettable film. I think it had good intentions. I think the lead wasn't a bad actor, but maybe he's just not capable of. Maybe this was too big for the guy's wheelhouse. I don't even know what this guy's done. I should have looked that up. I'll look that up real quick. Again, werewolf films aren't really the best. They really aren't. Christopher Abbott. It Comes at Night, A Most Violent Year, Poor Things, Possessor. So I've seen some of these films. It just, again, I don't know if maybe he's just not a guy that could work as a lead for this part. Maybe this part was too much for him, or too outside of his paycheck, outside of his comfort zone. I don't know. Maybe he needed like a more compelling actor to really pull you in, to really get you into that pathos of a guy turning. Because you really have to care for the guy to go through that. Otherwise, who gives a shit? Otherwise, who gives a shit? And that's kind of that was the feeling here. I didn't give a shit. And not many people gave a shit. Who gives a shit? He's turning good. I don't care. Turn around the corner and give me something to eat. I don't know. So at the end of the day, it's like, he's turning. I don't give a shit. The wife barely gives a shit. The daughter, maybe sometimes gives a shit. But if you, not a whole lot you give a shit, why should I give a shit? And it's not, I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of blood and gore. The little bit where he's tearing to his own arm. There's a little bit where the one guy gets killed, but it's so brief, you may miss it. It's not a big body count film. I mean, really, the only body count is that one guy, and you see it briefly, and then the two werewolves. So, you're asking a lot from an audience. It's not that bloody of a movie. It's not a big body count movie. It's not the werewolf killing people left and right. You barely see the werewolves, so it's trying to do the less is more. It's trying to be this character study and trying to be this slow burn. But when you have the actors are just kind of either not that great like the wife, or just kind of there, and they don't have the compelling aura to really pull you in, to get you invested, which Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis did in the Fly remake. Demi Moore in The Substance. Says people like, you talk about old films. Okay, The Substance is a newer film. I got intrigued by Demi Moore. And I'm like, oh, come on, don't keep doing it. No, don't keep doing it. Don't keep doing it. That was compelling. The Substance was a better version of trying to do some deeper theme about whatever the case may be. There was different. That was about ageism and not able to leave the spotlight. The Substance, that is. But that did that in a much more energetic direction, much more vibrant, compelling performances, crazier, gore, blood scenes. It's not a big body count movie either, but that ending, if you know, you know. So that's what I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I don't think this is the worst film ever. It's just a very bland, meh, forgettable movie that by the end of the year, I will forget I saw this film this year. If I did a top 10 list of the worst of 2025, I'll forget about this. I mean, I hated the 3 Popeye horror films more. I hated Minecraft more. I hated the Snow White. Hell, I hated Jurassic Park 7 more. That annoy me more. I forget some of the others. It's been a bad fucking year, but yeah. Did I think this was good? No. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. I need to eat some stomach. I feel like I want to burp. Acid reflux. I don't know. This movie made me sick, I guess. Fuck this movie. Later.